Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for tonight's midweek special edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. Tonight, we'll be looking at a very important, timely, critical topic, the impact of human resource management practices and policies on sustainable development goals, the way forward, the impact of human resource management best practices and policies on sustainable development goals, the way forward. And our facilitator tonight is one of our regular, when I say regular, consistent, reliable, of course, is sustainable. Let me use that word. Let me borrow it from tonight's session. Fola Vincent is a seasoned human resource professional, learning and development specialist, is a prolific speaker, leadership coach with a diverse industry background spanning over 11 years, 11 quality years. He has a proven track record of successfully implementing creative human resource strategies and learning and development initiatives that fosters business growth, promote employee engagement, and cultivate positive organizational culture. Ladies and gentlemen, he is highly respected as a reliable HR advisor and consultant by top executives as he offers expert guidance on human resource matters that affect the company's bottom line and also top line. Fola is a certified senior professional in human resources management, SPHRI, and is a practitioner member of Institute of Business Psychology. He holds a Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry Education. So he's a science student, used to be a science student, not the word of Olamide anyway. He also has a Master's in Education in Counseling Psychology. He has a mini MBA in Business Innovation, Growth and Sustainability. He is a PhD scholar in personnel psychology at the University of Ibadan. They call it the first and the best. Fola is currently the team lead faculty management at FCMB, which is a major bank in Nigeria and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, yet again, I'm excited and delighted to yield the floor, the virtual lecture to Fola Vincent. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, my amazing Adeoshun. Thank you for what you are doing in this community containing the human resource professional. And I want to say congratulations to you on your recent achievement as part of the council members of CIPM. I want to say well done and kudos to you. So without wasting much of our time, let's just go quickly to why we are here today. Or should I quickly welcome everyone on board? So I want to say welcome to today's HR mentorship. So let's look at our learning objectives. By the time we are rounding up today, a participant will be able to gain insight into the crucial role human resource management best practices and policies in driving progress towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Secondly, all participants will be able to explore why HR professionals are powerful force for positive change. And finally, we are going to look into key best practices and provide some kind of actionable recommendations, something that you can start implementing immediately. So whether you are new to HR or probably you are experienced, this conversation is very, very important to all of us. So let's look at Module 1, overview of SDGs and HRM roles. So the question is, how much of SDGs do you know? And what are your role in achieving UN SDG as an HR? And the last question, which I didn't put in that place, and probably I should just ask you again, is what are your impact in your organization as we speak right now? And how does that impact, reflect in the community? Whether you like it or not, one thing that make your organization unique and become a choice in your community and even among the customers is because they see value. So customers really buy value. And one of the things that makes them to buy value is because everything you deliver is having a significant impact in their life. I was looking at Apple, looking at Amazon, and Microsoft, some of now currently looking at Tesla. And during the period of COVID-19, we actually saw what these people do, and so amazing, especially Microsoft rolling out a lot of initiatives such a way that they could contribute to the and reduce the impact of pandemic in the whole of the globally. Let me put it that way, not just in US, but they are doing that globally. And when you look at Apple, I watched one of their videos. We have little time in this place. I will have shown that video. The video actually talks about uh, majorly about green. We call the green initiatives, and the video was regarding to modern art, the modern art, and we realized that if you ask people why do they love to buy Apple products, you will be so amazed that it's not just about the product in itself. It is because of the impact that Apple is making, impact that is tied to their purpose, tied to their vision. They have a way of connecting all of us together. They have a way of connecting their product and services to people. And that is exactly what is going to happen by the time you align HR best practices with SDG. So HRM plays a critical role in advancing the SDGs globally. By aligning HRM practices with SDGs, organizations can contribute to sustainable development while improving their competitiveness and reputation. HR professional needs not to only attract top talent, but also create an environment that fosters, employee growth and national development. So in this context, we see HRM, human resource professionals taking up a new responsibility or a new role. And what do? They offer economic and social solutions that prioritize both individuals and the environment. And their goal is to be able to establish what refers to as a sustainable corporate culture. I tell people our culture plays an important role in how we achieve our goals. Okay. And I've had a lot of time that most HR professionals say that culture swallows strategy. No matter how fantastic your strategy is, if your culture is not positive and it's not sustainable, you will just discover that it will make the strategies important. They will not be able to deliver what you want them to deliver. So let's quickly look at the SDG in a glance. So just like the word, SDG simply means Sustainable Development Goals, and the SDG are a collection of 17 interconnected global goals adopted by the United Nations in 2015. They used to call it, what do we call it now? Millennials Goal, MD, as easy MD, MDA, or something like that. And now, these goals address critical issues such as social, economic, and environmental challenges, and they serve as a blueprint for better and more sustainable future for all by 2030. And we have about 17 of them. Let me run you through the 17 of them. Number one is no poverty. Number two, zero hunger. Number three, good health and well-being. Number four, quality education. Number five, gender equality. Number six, clean water and sanitation. Number seven, affordable and clean energy. Eight, decent work and economic growth. And so forth, so on and so forth, down to 17, partnership for the goals. And I want to emphasize on the issue of partnership for the goals. And that is why I love what we are doing today. And Mr. Dioshu might not really know what he's doing today, but what we are doing today makes HR mentorship to contribute to the SDG, because only God knows when last human resource professionals actually learn about the SDG. So you can put today's training into your CV. Probably Mr. Adeosh is going to print some kind of how do I put it now? Certificate for us. Who knows? Because I'm going to try my best today so that we'll be able to align what we do as HR professional with the SDG, and you can start implementing in your organization. So the question is why SDGs matter, and we are going to look at Nigeria first. Now, apology because I know that what we are doing here goes beyond Nigeria. Probably you are from other African country, and probably just look at what I'm showing you now and remove Nigeria and put your own country. Okay, so apology. So as we speak right now, let me just say Nigeria or African country will face significant social, environmental, and economic challenges. Whether you are in Togo, whether you are in Rwanda, I am one of the application reader for Mandela Washington Fellowship. And because of that role, I have access to so many issues that African country actually face based on the training they put us through and the materials we have access to. And the truth of the matter is that the whole thing looks like it's the same for all of us, not just in African country, even in Asians, in Americans, and in in the globe generally. We all have social, environmental, and economic challenges. Look at what is happening right now in the US, the rise in the price of gases, issues with their energy, even look at what China is making them to pass through. China is way ahead of them when it comes to agriculture. And now look at what is happening in the area of steel. China is ahead of them when it comes to the issue of steel. And there is a lot of economic war between US and China. Not just about China. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. Look at what is happening in Russia. Whether you like it or not, it has a major impact on what is happening in USA. And look at what is happening in Israel and also Palestine and Iran. So a lot of things are happening right now. Number two, the SDG provide a roadmap for addressing these challenges and achieving sustainable development. And for the globe, for the global world, the most important thing when it comes to SDG is for them to achieve peace and prosperity. Every organization, every nation want peace and prosperity. Then number three, some key focus area for apology if I'm using Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. I'm proud of that anyway. so so some key area for us as a Nigerian has to do with eradicating poverty, which is the SDG number one, then ensuring food security, not just in Nigeria alone anyway. SDG number two, then number three, attaining quality education, that has to do with SDG four, achieving gender equality, which has to do with SDG five, not just in Nigeria alone anyway, like I said, then providing clean water and sanitation. And then number six, decent work and economic growth, which everybody wants to be involved in that area, SDGA. And that's one of the reasons why we have businesses. And that is one of the reasons probably you are currently HR in a particular firm because they are creating decent work and economic growth. And finally, combating climate change. And where you like it or not, the issue of climate change has become a global issue. It has become a global concern. Okay, was it last year? Look at what happened around Edo, Bayelsa. A lot of fraud just took people away. And, while we are even being concerned about climate change, some people are even saying, no, there is nothing like climate change. We should just disregard it. It's politics. That one is coming from Elon Musk. But every of his I know that he is trying to remove the fear attached to climate change because everything he's doing it in line with the SDG 13. Look at these Tesla cars, which has to do with electric cars. That's what they do. This man is making a lot of investment, and as a matter of fact, he's planning to take people out of the earth into the into the what Mars. They are planning to take people out of here into other planet. So whether we like it or not, a lot of organization They are currently aligning all of the initiatives with the SDG in order to curb the effect of probably social, environmental, and economic challenges. So, why are they matter in organization? And I think that you're going to pay attention to this one. Why are they so matter in all organization? Number one, most organizations want to enhance their reputation and brand value. And the best way for you to do that is through SDG. Don't worry, I'm just trying to lay the background so that by the time we move ahead, you will discover that you will no longer struggle with initiatives in your organization. And everywhere I have worked, by the grace of God, some of them think that probably I'm too creative or anything like that. But the truth of the matter is that I have a core attachment with SDG. And anytime I want to roll out initiatives that will impact the organization or my department in any way, I look into the SDG and I come up with creative ideas. And at the end of the day, we try to implement it. So, um, if you align everything you do in your organization with SDG, it's going to enhance your organization reputation and brand value. And at the end of the day, it will have so much significant if and positive one with your consumer and investors and also your stakeholders. Okay, like I told you at the beginning of the training, that most times people do business with you not just because of the product and services, but because of the value you are making in the life of people and also the community. What greatest value can you sell? Can you even sell more than that? Number two, innovation and efficiency. It will lead to resource optimization, especially when you look at the area of automation and cost reduction. And I will give you an example of what is happening now. When you look at probably banking industry, oil and gas, so many industry that we talk right now, they are talking about automation. And why do you think they are talking about automation? It's because of SDG. What are the things they are trying to automate? For example, there are some organization you will hardly see paper. There are no paperwork because they have gone green. Don't worry, I am still going to explain what I mean by to go green. And they are doing all they can to automate all their processes in such a way that there will be no more manual that will require them to use papers. As a matter of fact, they have tied the usage of papers to KPI. How many papers do you use in a week, in a month? In terms of A4 papers or something like that. How many do you consume? So it has become part of their KPI. Then how much of your processes can you automate? And that is why you see more businesses coming up. When you automate your processes, you will save cost. And that is the truth of the matter. Then the second one has to do with market opportunities. Look at the issue of electric cars and solar energy. I was looking at Sterling in their head office, they are using purely solar. And I'm also looking at my own organization. In majority of the branches that we speak right now, they are going solar. And when you go solar, it will save you the cost of diesel, cost of petrol, and every other thing you can ever think of. And that is the power of you aligning some of your best practices to SDG. Then what of financial benefit? Like I told you, it reduces costs, then you begin to have access to green financing. There are some organizations, they create them to support businesses that are into SDG initiatives. It doesn't matter whether you are a limited or probably you are NGO, it doesn't really matter. All you need to do is to report all of your SDG initiatives and they are going to support you. I've seen Microsoft doing that, supporting small businesses, supporting even big organizations. A lot of partnership is going on right now. That's why you see at the end of the year or probably quarterly organization reports their SDG initiatives. Then the next one is employee engagement and motivation. It makes employees to find meaning and purpose in their work. It's so lovely. It's so lovely. Like in my organization, when they wanted to like hire me, then I went online. I want to see what's FCMB doing. What do they? Why should I go there? What do they have? What makes them unique? Then suddenly I stumbled on their She Venture initiatives, and I was attracted. So And during the interview, I told them that what makes me get me attracted to the organization is I'm thinking that by the time I come in, I can play a significant role in what they do in She Venture. And by the time I came in, I looked for the SME, the manager in charge of the She Venture, and we became party even to today. Because that's one of the things that attracted me to that organization. And in any organization I want to go, I usually want to align what I'm doing with their purpose, with their community initiative, so that at the end of the day, I can tell people, yes, I'm in a place that I can find meaning and I can find purpose. And when you align everything within the organization with the SDG, you will just be amazed. It can reduce your turnover and increase talent attraction and retention. That's the truth of the matter. Then the next one has to do with regulatory compliance. Yes, we all know that. And that is the reason why everybody wants to do SDG. But the truth of the matter is that it is beyond regulatory compliance issues. I know that some organization, they won't venture into SDG if it doesn't have to do with the issue of compliance. They will not do it. But do we have to do it because we have to just fulfill regulatory matters? No, you don't have to. So, and the truth of the matter is that the way I'm looking at it, in the next 5 or 10 or 20 years, some organizations, they will not do any business with you until you can produce your SDG initiatives. How are you helping the community? How are you making the world better? And recently, uh, I think they are already doing that Nigeria is doing that now, or Nigeria as a nation is doing that. If you want to take any government job, they will want you to produce those areas that whereby what are your impact, your SDG, economic impact analysis, social impact. They want you to produce it. And at the end of the day, you can show them what you are doing and how you are giving back and helping Nigeria or any nation you represent, how you are helping them, to achieve the SDG. So it's becoming part of beyond regulatory. It also creates opportunity for you. Now, let me ask you this question. Sorry, apology. I'm a banker and consultant on banker anyway. Once a consultant is still a consultant, and you know I will use some example. I usually look at our annual report in FCMB, and by the time we get to the one that has to do with SDG, I fall in love with FCMB instantly. And through that, recently FCMB won some kind of award through that, and I saw that Wema Bank also did the same, and I also see that MTN is doing a lot in that arena. MTN is doing a lot in that arena, and I have seen some organizations, at least I've done some kind of research around some organization that are doing excellently well. I saw one with IPNS, something make me to just do some kind of research about them, what they are doing in schools. Fantastic things what they are doing is there. I'm also seeing these people on the Globe. I think there's a organization called the Globe, what they are doing with the primary schools. So amazing. And I love what MTM2 is doing. So amazing. So all of these create market opportunities for them. And when you look at what is happening in USA now with Elon Musk, although he might be having issue with political because of his political orientation, but yes, he's still loved by the government because of what he's doing regarding the SDG. Now let's move to the last one, which is long-term growth and stability. By the time you begin to engage yourself in the SDG, you can begin to address global challenges. All you need to do is start small and grow big. Then we all ensure peace and prosperity. And at the end of the day, we reduce risk or eradicate risk generally. Look at the issue of climate change. I believe in it. I won't lie to you. I've started studying climate change since 100 level. I wanted to use it as my research. So I have a lot of materials on climate change. A lot of materials, although right now I have changed. Probably there is something God wants me to do in the future that has to do with climate change. I wouldn't know for now, but that is the truth of the matter. So when we save our community, don't just try to do global. Just anywhere you find yourself, do something there, do something in Nigeria, and you will see your organization running. So let's look at when the issue of SDG in alignment with HRM begins. As far back in 1975 to 1980, that was the early stage of the issue of sustainability that has to do with the SDG. At that particular stage, the organizations see human being as personnel, and they do some kind of administrative work. So the truth of the matter is that during that period, they gather people as machines. They just want to use them to build the community. They use them to build houses. They use them to build bridges. It has been in times immemorial. Go and check some of the bridges you have ever seen. They use people to build them. you know so from the foundation of the earth, or from the foundation of most organization or nation, they have been using people resources, to to build nation, to build something. Okay, if you have read your Bible very well anyway, you will see what they use people to do in Egypt. Let me put it that way. So that's just joke apart. Then from there we move into 1990 to 2008, whereby we have strategic recognition. Now, at that particular stage, is the focus of HR is moving away from just seeing people as machine or as something you can just use, like using people, the personnel, the administrative work, into what we refer to as recognition of strategies. Oh, I think we can use people more to gain competitive advantage, but this time around, they are focusing on growth, they are focusing on strategy, and they are focusing on decision making. So what do? They begin to bring HR into what they do. Unlike before, they see HR around that 1975, even beyond that to 1990, they see HR as just, hey, you are just people, handle our administrative task. We don't want you in the boardroom. We don't want to create any department for you. We don't even see what you are doing here. Just handle the paperwork. You're fine. But from 1990 to 2008, there was a strong change in what we do as HR. Now they bring you into strategy formulation and decision making, and that was, we began to have a breakthrough from there. Then suddenly in 2008 to 2015, we have fully transitioned into strategic role of the human resources. So we are now operational, strategic, and we have started approaching the modern, whereby we are making use of technology and digital capabilities to do what we do in HR. Even as far back as even 2015, those during period, we have started using data to make informed decisions. So as HR around 2008 to 2015 is making a lot of senses, and we have started on understand, we understood our role, that okay, beyond administrative roles, we are now doing some kind of strategic, we performing some kind of strategic roles, and we are leveraging technology and digital skills to make our role even more better. Then suddenly in 2015 to date, we now we move into what we refer to as the green and sustainable HRM. And I'm going to explain that one to you in the next slide. Before we go into them, what does it mean? That is, we are now aligning HR strategies to organizational goals and also SDG. So since 2015 up to date. So let me call your attention to what happened in 2008. We all know about the global economic meltdown. Sure, you know that it happened. Then something like that also happened around 2015, especially Nigeria went to went to depression. Let me put it that way. We all know what happened. So at that particular time, the organization seals, they saw what we did, and they began to respect us. Let me put it that way. And from there, they began to put us at the center of their strategy. So the simple truth of the matter is that you are so unique, you are so powerful, you are so great, and that is the essence of this class. So that you can harness the HR capabilities. I call it capabilities anyway. We have a lot of capabilities, okay, and we can harness them so that we can start helping organization, and we can start helping our community. And the truth of the matter is that organizations and our community cannot do without us. Or let me ask you this question: can they do without you? I am always proud to be an HR, a certified one. Are you proud? Let me see in the comment section. Are you proud to be a certified HR professional? Probably you are certified or not. Or are you proud to be practicing human resources? So the truth of the matter is that back to early stage, back to strategic recognition, 2009 to 2015, HR can be very boring. But from 2015 and to date, HR is no longer boring. And if your own HR practices is boring to you, everything you do, activities you perform is boring to you, there is a likelihood that you have not moved into the green and sustainable HRM. So let me quickly talk about that so that you will know. Okay, before I move into that, let me just speak about the challenges we have faced from our transitioning from that around 1980s to date. We have faced some kind of challenges. Some of us have overcome them, while some have not really overcome them. By the time I mention all of these, I know that majority of your questions might come in this area. Yes, we cannot run away from these challenges, and that is one of the reasons we are doing what we are doing now. One of the reasons we are doing what we are doing now. Number one has to do with culture and resistance to change. Yes, it's everywhere. People are resistant to change. You want to bring up one initiatives, they will tell you, no way here. This is the way we do things. Ah, who are you? Are you coming to change the way we do things here? Hey, you can't. Oh, don't worry. I know it happens. But as we continue in this seminar, we will learn one or two things that we can do. People will start respecting us anywhere you find yourself. Then number two is limited HR influence and inadequate resources. I won't lie to you. Every HR face such problem. It wasn't now that we have started facing such a problem. Limited HR influences and inadequate resources. Fola, you don't know what is happening in my organization. There are structural issues. I have to combine admin work with my HR work. As in fact, I am even the accountant self. I can't even think of any initiatives because administrative work has killed me. Not just about the administrative work. In fact, I have to do a lot. I have to contend with the COO, the CFO, and even the MD. As I speak right now, the COO is not seeing me as friend. Neither the CFO is seeing me as friend. They are taking over my work, giving me paperwork to do. Yes, these are problems that I know that you'll be facing this kind of problem, but don't worry. By the time we get to one of the reasons we are here today, you can begin to roll out some kind of things that will make you unique and you can get respect from all of these people. Is that okay? Then the next one has to do with leadership commitment. Yes, all those leaders at the top, they are not committed to HR initiatives. They are not ready to sponsor it. They don't even know what you are talking about. Yeah, it's a general problem. We are not going to shy away from it. Then the last one has to do with, and this one shouldn't be happening. And I know that we are going to overcome that last one today. There are poor SDGs awareness and reporting. And if I ask you today, when last did you train your workforce on the area of SDG? It may not be all of them anyway. Just pick the one that your firm has adopted. Even as I'm talking to you now, it could be by the time you are leaving this place today, you can go back to the organization and say, come, this our organization has to align some of the things we do to the SDG. And while we do it, we can begin to report it, then talk about it. Just call the managers, call some of the top people that can make serious decision regarding it and facilitate the training. You can make it a one-day seminar. If you like, you can even call me around. I will come. I've been SDG person right from beginning, and that's as far back as 2011. I've been in the SDG space, and let me even let you understand that I'm even a president of one NGO as I speak right now. So SDG awareness, then reporting. Some people are doing SDG initiatives and they are not reporting it. They are not even showcasing it. And if you can remember, I told you why you need to do that, because it has so much power on your organization. It has so much influence on your organizational reputation and brand value. Because what your customers buy, what they buy at the brand value, it is the reputation, it is the trust. People buy trust before they can buy anything from you. And that is why it has to be reported so that your customers, even your future talents, they will see it and want to work with you. So it is not something you should be joking with. Now let's go into module 2, key HR best practices and actionable recommendations. And I want you to pay attention in this place because all of the things we want to discuss right now, you will need to write them down. Because as I'm speaking, ideas will begin to come to you on what you can do starting from tomorrow in your firm. And your MD, your CEO will begin to say, what is happening? This lady or this guy, look at that. This idea is brilliant. Too. And let me tell you some of my secrets. Anywhere I have ever worked, probably some of them are here now, they are listening to me. They know that, no, when it comes to Fola, he's going to give us that idea. He will not just give the idea, he will create a business case around it and he's going to implement it. That's what I do by the grace of God. Anywhere I've worked, I leave my mark. In fact, by the time I'm resigning, I'm going safe. It's always full of emotion. And it's not that I am just, I don't know, it's not that probably I am born with it. It's just that I leverage on the SDGs. If you go to UN and website or you look at all their initiatives, in fact, idea itself will kill you as human resource professional. Idea will just kill you. Your MD will say, don't worry, let Adedoyin comes. Don't worry, let Adeosun be here. Don't worry. So let's look at all of these things and let's look at what we can do around them. So now everything we want to talk about today depend on the dual roles that human resource professional play. I know you don't even know. I know that we are used to some kind of roles, but now I am stepping up. Every role you ever perform in your organization can be classified into these two. Whether you are a change something, you are a clinical advocate, or you are administrative something expert, no matter how you are in your organization, everything that you do or we still do, by the grace of God, we can easily classify them into these major two. Okay, so we have the green human resource management or human resource role we want you to do. So the green human resource management refers to HR practices that promote environmentally friendly behaviors among employees and reduce the environmental impact or footprint on organization. It involves integrating ecological consciousness into all aspects of human resource management to support sustainable business practices. Number two, this green HRM focuses specifically on environmental sustainability and how to reduce negative environmental impact on businesses. The first time I did health safety and safety, I did that course sometimes ago. That was around 2014. When I introduced me to it, it's what we called environmental impact analysis. So before you can do anything, you need to submit that. And I will not lie to you, some of these skills need to become part of the skills that human resource professionals should be learning. Okay. And I will tell you why it's very important. Okay. Now look at the Lagos Calabar that Nigerian government is doing. Although I am not a politician, no, I am simply human resource. So please, apology, I don't belong to any party, I beg. So why I love what they want to do, but there is a kind of K-leg around their environmental impact analysis or social impact analysis. Now they've destroyed so much businesses. They want to do something that is good, but they have destroyed so many businesses. Then suddenly they now realize that, oh, we can no longer continue with this routing because of what? Because of cables. There are underlying cables that powers all our networks. I just, that day I said, God, thank you that it did not go ahead. But the truth of the matter is that they are not conscious of the environmental impact of what they are doing. So most organizations, whether you like it or not, they are not conscious. Now go to some of these big top organizations. Probably some of you are even working there now. Where are they releasing their gases? Where are they releasing their byproducts? Okay, where are they releasing them? Are they conscious of the environment? Look at what Shell and all these Shell, Chevron, all those Info and NPC. We'll look at what it did in the south, our south and people regions, Delta, Port Harcourt. So during that period, they were not thinking in line with all of this thing I'm talking about now. It is just about the business. It is about profit. It is about harnessing resources without thinking on the impact or of the impact on the community. They don't. So you as HR in an organization or in the board meeting or in the management meeting, you should be able to raise some of these issues when they want to do anything, or probably if your organization want to do anything with any vendors, you want to get a vendor, or you want to do anything, you should be able to raise some of these issues. And let me tell you something. The day you raise some of these issues and your CEO just look at you, they'll begin to think that, wow, we need to bring this person to governance, because this is one of the corporate governance skills or corporate governance capabilities. They are the one that undo all your CSR. Okay, they are the one. But don't just leave it to them. Let them feel that you are part of them and that you understand their governance roles, and you're going to play your part as HR. Come up with initiatives that support the board, that support the CEO, that support the MD. So they don't just think the thinking alone. You too, you also understand it. So in every action organization take, there are environmental impact of those actions. And who is going to champion some of these things? Yes, it's supposed to be the MD, it's supposed to be the CEO, but do not just leave it to them. You too showcase the HR capabilities of making our world and our environment safe. And that is why it is very important for you. And when you do this, you are respected. Now let's quickly move to the next one so that I don't bug you and bore you with all of my words. Now we have the sustainability human resource management. So this sustainability HRM talk about a comprehensive approach that integrates social, economic, and environmental sustainability into HR practices. It aims to create a work environment. Now pay attention. A work environment that supports employee well-being, business success, long-term organizational sustainability, and societal development. I love this one. And not just about the green, you are also supposed to develop capability about some sustainabilities. By the grace of God, I have always been a culture champion and performance champion in every organization that I found myself. And some of the initiatives I use to run those things, they are from sustainability. And when you look at what I've just told you right now, look at the issue of employee well-being. Imagine. Look at the issue that has to do with societal development. All of these things have a way of making you as HR professional to be a change agent. Now look at that. Sustainable HRM encompasses social, economic, and environmental aspects. So the question is, what are the differences between these two? When you look at it very well, the green HRM focus on the environment, issue of climate change, issue of solar energies, energy generally, issue of electric cars, issue of apology. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
So we can.
Hello? Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can. Yes,
Okay.
we can.
I observed that I was flashed that my network is having an issue. Sorry, let me just do something from here. Okay. Thank you. So let's move to the next one. So let's quickly look at all of these one after the other. So let's look at the green initiative. Like I told you, I said you are going to be writing, and if you can write, please do. Let's learn it together. So from the green HRM, there's what we call the green recruitment. So how do you do that? You can attract and hire candidates who are environmentally conscious and possess skills that contribute to the organizational sustainability goals. Now, if you look at all these probably in US, UK, have you ever seen their job advertisement? I need you to go back and look at the way they advertise. Especially some of these top level ones, probably UN, WHO. Go and look at their advertisement. You will get to a particular area, they will showcase the SDG. And if you pass through their recruitment, at least I've done one, although I didn't make it through. That was the one of UN. I think I left stage one, I was in stage two before. Later, I didn't get a positive yes from them. By the time you get to the second level, you begin to see some kind of an interview that has to do with either the green or with the sustainability. Everything has to do with SDG. So let me ask you this question now. Since you have been recruiting, have you ever tried to find out or ask questions that has to do with the environmental consciousness of the candidate? So one thing you can start doing starting from now is to include some of this into them. It may not determine the suitability of the staff, but it's also very important because during that recruitment process, the person became conscious of the environment. And by the time the person comes into the organization, they begin to become conscious of it too. That is the way it works. So it depends. For example, those in oil and gas, those in manufacturing, those in probably FMCGL or some of these people, this is very unique for you. And I know that they are going to have some kind of, interview questions that addresses all of that. Okay. And all of us, like I told you, you need to find a way. It may not really determine the suitability of the staff, but you need to find a way to create that kind of consciousness. You can use 2 to 3 minutes to discuss it during interview. Align it with their purpose, align it with the issue of probably, it depends on the one you have adopted in your organization. As a matter of fact, you have to adopt either 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of those SDGs. Yes, you cannot do all of them, but you need to adopt some of them and let it be part of your recruitment advertisement. Then ask few questions around it during during your, how do I put it, during your interview. Okay, am I making a lot of sense regarding that? Are you getting some kind of idea probably what you are going to do, what you will go and do next, like something that is be different? Now let's move to the green training and the development. So this time around, you are providing training programs that educate employees about sustainable practices and environmental issues. You're also tying it to green performance management, although I'm still going to come into the green performance management because you can't separate training and development from performance. Now, let me quickly explain what is happening in that place to you. I know that in the organization that I work, there are regulatory courses. You have to do it twice a year. Half of the year and the second half of the year, you have to do the way you make you to do all of those things. Everybody working in the banking industry, they know that it is very compulsory. We pass through all this green training and development. Okay, so you too can come up with something like that. Okay, you can come up with, some of you now, or let me say some of us, once you do one training, it is finished for all the staff. But just functional training or any of them, no, you are not preparing your organization for the future. That is what it means. If you are not taking advantage of the green initiatives, you are not preparing your organization for the future. And why do you think, as we speak right now, we now have a department called business continuity in organization? What do you think they do in business continuity? They harness the power of the green and also the sustainability initiatives. That's what they do. They go deeper into it and they look at how they can align it with the organization and they come up with initiatives. They break it down into risk and they began training and they begin to attach it to performance. You too can do the same. Is it going to be too much for you to do? The issue of the green and the sustainability initiatives are the most simplest things to do. Okay, there are a lot of materials, there are a lot of things you can read about it, and you don't make it too complex, just make it too simple. As a matter of fact, when people are going through the green training and development, make it too simple for them, they pass. The most important is to just create that consciousness or awareness, for them. So let's quickly look at the next one. That is the green performance management. So what most organizations do right now is to find a way to incorporate some of these green issues into performance. And I will give you an example. For example, now probably you have done a lot of automation with your organization. You have spent a lot of money, and yet some people are still using paperwork. They don't want to integrate into automation. They are finding it difficult to embrace that kind of change. You can just put it. How many, for example, I've given an example number one. How many papers do you use per month? Probably you give it 5%. It can come up. Okay. What innovation comes in that make you automate your processes in such a way that it helps us to reduce probably paperwork, or it helps people to reduce the use of light, or the use of some things that has to do with that affect the environment, or some people they drink coke a lot. You can attach a KPI to it, like how many people probably they are no longer drinking coke, they are now drinking water only, or things like that. You can come up with things, and don't worry. Okay, I can actually talk about it now. Now, if you look at what MTN did sometimes ago, they have to. I think that was 5 years ago. I know they do something like that every year. So what did they do? They roll out an initiative in such a way that you can come up with any initiative that make use of bad tires, bottles, all these probably line-ons. You can just come up with any initiatives that make you to create anything. And at the end of the day, they choose the best. I knew they chose one of my friend like that in Ibadan here. That guy, he make use of bad tires to paint some things and put it in all. They were using it for this their spring something. It was so beautiful. I love it. And the guy was rewarded with a lot of money, which I can't really remember now. So the same thing can happen in your organization. You can declare one day, you can tell them go green. It could be just a day. Tell all of them, come up with a particular initiative that resolute with going green. It could mean that probably they want to go and work on tires, or they want to go and work on bottles, or they want anything. It could be a campaign. They could just go to some people and just talk about it. Some people are managing waste. It could be way about waste. They could just go on that. So you can tie some of these things to their performances. Then what of solar? Probably you have given solar to a particular branch to be using. Then you can now begin to measure how many diesel do they use per week or per month, or how many fuel do they use, and you tie it to perform and to their KPI. Okay, so some will not want to use, they will just rely solely on the solar, and they will manage the solar well. And why some they want to reduce the consumption of diesel and the fuel. So these are things you can come with all of these under green performance management. You find the way to integrate the green initiatives into the performance system. Some of you are thinking, I don't even know how to go, but don't worry. If you want more talk around that, let's talk about it and we can look into it. Okay, then we have the green compensation and benefit. I've just explained how probably MTN, how Sterling, how Wema, how FCMB, or how Dangote, or how Nestle and Flour Mill, how they are empowering people and giving benefit to people when they engage in any green initiative. So the same thing can happen in your organization. Like I told you, you could declare a day, but before you declare that day, you would have sensitized everybody on any green initiatives that they can embark on. Then then put them in group, let them come up with something. They can just come up with anything. And that day, let the community know. Take videos, take pictures, put it on your LinkedIn, put it on Facebook. We are going green. In fact, before you know this happening, it can make it to CNN or to the international stage, and you don't know what that can do to your organization. The truth of the matter is that you can be rewarded for doing that. There another area you can look into is that especially if you're having 500 staff, just imagine that 500 staff are bringing cars to the organization, or probably 2,000 staff are bringing cars to the branch, to the organization. That is too huge. So how do you go green? how do you build your case with the management? You can tell them, okay, we realize that majority of our staff are bringing cars to the organization, and at the end of the day, they didn't give room for customers to park. It affects the customers negatively. So what can we do? You can bring up against, okay, let's buy one or two staff bus that can convey uh, you know staff to the office. Do you know if your organization has staff bus, as I'm talking to you now, and they are using it very well, do you know it's a green initiative and needs to be reported? I know some of you don't know. How many of you knew what I've just said now? Or how many of you is even reporting it? Staff boss. All you need to do is let them know that it enabled the staff, number one, to save their fuel. So at the end of the day, it saved the number of carbon dioxide in the air. Just one boss will solve that problem. Now look at what Nigerian government is doing, and I applaud them for that. Tinubu said that nobody should be used at all the buses or cars they are buying now. They are using gas. No more petrol. Yeah, those are green initiatives. And by the time at the end of the year, probably you want to reward some of the staff. You may not just go and buy rice for them or buy any other thing for them. You can look for any solar energy and buy for them. Solar fans, solar what again? Solar car. Let me put it that way. Or probably solar fridge. You can even get, MTN is selling some solar energy that are as slow as 400,000 or 500,000, and it will power almost the whole house. You can say, okay, this year our best staff or anything, we are buying this for you. Then you buy it for this year for one person, another year for one person, and it's going like that. You are already in the green initiatives. So it's not every time you are buying rice, you are buying coke, you are buying all those things. So channel your energy. I hope I'm giving some of us some kind of idea that you can start implementing immediately. Then the green employee relations, encourage employees to participate in green activities and put them in committees. And this one also has to do, probably you want to declare a particular day as a go green day, or do something that has to do with green day. And all you need to do is probably people in customer service, people in internal control, you can match them together, let them go and execute one green initiatives. People in HR and who again in accounting, you can match them together, let them go, and anybody that come up with the best one will be rewarded. Let's say, for example, they will be rewarded, every member of that team will be rewarded with solar energies, or they will be rewarded with anything that you can come up with. But this time around, not with rice, or not just giving them money. No, not give them money. Just give them something that has to be green products. Okay. So we are going green, and HR is going to lead that initiative. Okay. Are you excited? Okay. Oh my God. So let's look at what we have here. Sorry, I have a lot of things to do. I know I will be rounding up not quite soon. So let's look at the sustainable HRM best practices. Now, I told you I love everything about sustainable HRM. But for I've never been this green thing, probably because I'm no longer a science student. Don't worry, I will still go back to green initiatives. I've not been implementing green initiatives, but it is something I'm going to start thinking about by the time I'm through with this lecture. I need to come up with something. It could be training, it could be anything, but it's gonna be something that we can actually talk about. Okay. Okay, before I leave the green initiative, do you know that all this issue of cyber attack, cyber security, you can also refer to them as green initiatives, health and safety. Probably you do a training on health and safety or anything like that, or waste management, turning waste to wealth. These are all green initiatives that you can start implementing in your organization immediately. Now let's move to sustainable HRM based practices, work-life balance. Hey, implementing policies that promote a healthy balance between work and personal life, such as flexibility working hours, telecommuting, and paid leave, are a sample of sustainable initiatives. And do you know something? If you can help your workforce to achieve work-life balance, according to Harvard Business Review, research or their publication, they said any organization that do that, they are 25% better than organizations that do not do it. They are better. So there is nothing good in removing the people or the human in human resources. Don't separate them. Let it be human. There's a reason why they call it human resources. There are reasons why they call them people and not machines. Machines don't need work-life balance, but people do. You know, I was talking with Adeosun today. I left this in the morning around 7 and coming back probably I just got home around after 7. And I still have some deadline I need to put I need to work on. I was, if not because I have a commitment to what I'm doing right now, I would have just called Adeosun, hey Oga, I don't think I can come. Oh, a lot of this is happening right now. Please, I know that you are Oga. Please, you have my you have my content. Go and do something about it. That is what I should have done. But the truth of the matter is that because of the way I work and the way I work with my boss, I choose my work, and I love that. It makes me to be very productive. I love my work. I love my family. As a matter of fact, if you want to separate me from my family, the next thing I begin to do is to plan my exit. I can use one more. All I need to do is to, Mr. Adeosun, be like say I want to leave that place. So work-life balance is gone. I don't treat the way work-life balance. And there are people like us, wonderful talent. They can't joke with work-life balance. And how do you keep them in your organization? So you are the one that will build the case. You are the one that will run it. And I remember the last year, majority of trainings, probably seminars I'm called into has to do with work-life balance. And it is one of the new trends in 2024 for HR, work-life balance. In fact, we are even moving away from work-life balance to work-life fit and work-life experience. So what we're trying to do is to create experience for staff and let them feel that, okay, we understand you. We want you to choose how you work and we want you to be productive. Now, let me ask you this question. When they are productive, they choose how they work. What do you think will happen to your organization? Organization will be very productive. And what is the OSS of SDG? That is the OSS. Go and look at SDG number 8. That is the OSS. Decent work. That is it. Then the next one is fair wages and benefit. So I don't want to bug you with all of this. I know you know what compensation should be. 3 things is involved in compensation. It should be fair, there should be transparency, and there should be integrity. Okay? There should be integrity. Do you know something that organizations are doing and we are cleaning ourselves as HR? What do you know? Do you know that if 2 people are on the same grade, at the point of recruitment, we have told them, do not let anybody know your salary. The funniest thing is that they still find a way to know each other's salary. And the truth of the matter is that when 2 talents see each other on the same grade and they are collecting different salary, the day they get to know from each other is the day you are losing one. That is the truth of the matter. Yeah, there are a lot of bands. We put you in a band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4. How did you measure it? Is there transparency around it? Why is somebody in the same grade or probably almost the same experience having different, you can't even justify why it's so different? Yes, this is we now. You may not be able to do any, forget that one. No, it's on my KPI. I have to find a way to reduce something. Yes, but don't forget, I'm talking about sustainable HRM best practices. I am not just talking about your KPI here. Whether you like it or not, they will always find a way to know that all these discrepancies in wages. And the only best thing you can do is to find a way, at least to the best of your capability, to the best of in the interest of the organization, find a way at least so that, oh, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. So make it fair. That is what I'm trying to say. Then the next one is diversity and inclusion. It has been talk of the town. And none of what I'm talking about now has to do with the initiatives you created around it. Do you know that before you can go into diversity and inclusion, you have to have what refers to as, you have to understand even your workforce planning very well. How many disabilities do we need? Which type of disability can we put into your organization? What type of work can they do? Do the job analysis. Give room for them. Okay? I'm waiting for a day that manufacturing company will say we have disability people in our organization. I know they are here. Probably before we leave today, they need to tell me why. What of in the banking industry? What of in LBLs? How many disability people do we have in LBLs? God, dear, should we say something about that? Are we, when it comes to diversity and inclusion, are we really part of this initiative? If you forget about you are training females, you are training males, you are reporting it as diversity and inclusion something. Forget about it. We are talking about we're talking about disabilities. How many disabilities do you have in your organization? Is there any disability in your top management? Go and check even the mid management. Go and check them. How many do we have there? How many female do we have in top management? How many do we have in the board? How many do we have? Thank God, I know that we are driving it now, and it's making a lot of sense. Okay. Then another area of this issue where people are not talking about is that when our female workforce members, staff members give birth, they go on probably 3 months or 6 months. But what of the guys? We are going to say something about that today. We just go on 2 days or 3 days. What happened to us? We gave birth too now. But the truth of the matter is that you have to create an initiatives that stop or prevent discrimination. One, bullying. Two, what are you doing about it? Are you reporting? But that's the area. People are not reporting it. People don't talk about it. They cover it up. Okay? So if you want to go in the area of sustainability, you need to find a way to capture any area of discrimination, find a way to ensure that everybody feel, we are not talking about belongingness. Everybody feel belong. And how do I mean to feel belong? I am respected, I am valued, I can speak up, and somebody will listen to me. My opinion counts, my ideas count, even though you're not going to make use of them, but you still make me feel that it counts. Then the next one is employee development, investing in continuous learning and development. We cannot overstate this, or we cannot overemphasize it. It must be continuous. And don't just do it. You must align it with performance, you must align it with culture, and you must align it with the community. So when you are training somebody, just know that you are building a nation. When you are training your workforce, know that you are building a community. When you are training your workforce, know that you are building tomorrow for your organization. That is the way I see L&D. I love L&D. Anything L&D, anything culture, anything people, anything performance, I love it. I want to be in the front of it, because when I do it well, I am building a nation. When I do it well, I am building the world. When I do it well, I am building organization, creating opportunities for millions of people. Even by the time I have left the organization, my impact is still there, because you have built people. I don't joke with training. And I don't joke with training needs analysis. In fact, people, Fola is okay. Now you want to, no, let us die here. If we get this thing right, it is okay. Then the next one is ethical practices, upholding high ethical standards in all HR practices, ensuring transparency, accountability, and fairness in recruitment, in promotion, and other HR processes. Somebody posted in the group, I don't know if the person is here, and he said that, sure, you know that HR is not a friend of everybody. I said, Jesus. So, if you're not the friend of everybody, then you are the enemies of everybody. Or who are you? Who you be, self? So let me ask you today, who are you? Really? So let's ensure transparency, accountability, and fairness in recruitment, in promotion, in other HR processes. Don't be the reason why somebody's promotion was denied. Don't be the reason you saw somebody that, oh, this person is a great talent. He has passed everything. He's a great prospect for the organization. Then you just hate his face, or you don't like the way the person, like some of you, they may not even like the way I'm speaking now. You just, that kind of bias, and you just throw the persons away. We thank God The person that started Ford, that was, it was rejected multiple times, and later he began Ford. So do not just be careful with the way you treat talent, because they are the future of your organization. Then the last one, employee well-being. Oh, I love this, because right now I'm deploying an organization that has to do with employee well-being, and I'm so passionate about it. So passionate about it. So passionate. So you need to create a safe and healthy work environment, offering wellness programs that address physical, mental, and emotional health. Listen, the health of your organizations depend on the health of your workforce, whether you like it or not. If you have a deficiency workforce, you are going to have a deficiency organization. So you better do something about employee well-being. I am championing my own in the place that I work. I am the champion. I'm doing it well here. And I know that tomorrow prosperity will judge me right, and it's going to make a lot of sense. So that's that about that. Now let's move to the last one. And I want to speak to you personally, like appealing to your sense of sustainability. HR is a change agent for sustainability, and you need to know that. You need to embrace it. You need to love it. You need to be passionate about it. You need to be passionate. No, forget about UN. Just look at all those 17 SDG goals. Look at everything you do as human resources. If you can find a way to align it, oh my God, you will be a an a HR that cannot be joked with. Just go and try. Start doing it. You can't be joked with. So I said HR is a change agent for sustainability. And let's quickly look at some of this area you need to pay attention to. Although we have said so many things, yes, we still have to pay attention to one of the things. Number one, what should you do, or how can you drive changes? Number one, develop and implement sustainable HR best practices that minimize environmental impact and promote social responsibility. So what it means is that before you make that decision as HR leader, as HR, in any case that you find yourself, before you make that decision, try to align what you want to do with the best practices and tie it up with sustainability. Okay, tie it up. Use it to develop a business case. Although I'm still going to talk about that. Attract and retain a diverse and talented workforce with a deep commitment to sustainability principles. So don't just hire them. Train them on sustainability. Train them on business continuity. Train them on health and safety. Train them on waste management. Train them on cybersecurity. Train them on how, anything that can make the world safe. Train them on it. Don't just train them on Zelle. Don't just train them on how to use digital marketing or anything like that. No, 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 no. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Then number three, cultivate a culture of sustainability that permeates all aspects of the organization, from daily operations to decision making. So pay attention to culture. So when everybody begin to look at the culture of your organization, they should be able to see SDG there. So what should you do today? Go and look at the value of the organization. Look at any one of those values that align with the SDG. The particular firm that reached out to me not quite long, and it was as if probably things are going to work together around us. Me, before I resume an organization, I usually have there's something called, I prepare initiatives. In fact, I can even make it like 1 year or 2 years initiative, so that by the time I'm resuming, I'm starting day one. I've started rolling out one or two things. I think that's what I did in FCM. That's what I did in FCM when I joined them. That's what I did in East when I joined them. Everywhere I've ever worked, that's what I did. If you ask me, prepare 90 days plan, me, I'm not preparing 90 days. I prepare something so fantastic. I will even prepare a proposal. So by the time I'm coming in, so this guy. So first day like this, the way I will showcase myself to you, you will respect me till I leave your organization. Don't just resume casually. They now begin to tell you, and What are we going to do in the next 1 month, 2 months? You are still asking. You don't even know what you are doing. You have not found your. You are a change agent. Go with your blueprint. Eh? Go there. Let them know that you have resumed. You are not changing what they have. You are only complementing and improving what they have. That's the way you should resume. So, foster employee well-being, leading to a more engaged and productive workforce for sustainability initiatives. Like I told you, the health of your organization depends on the health of the workforce. So you are the one, you are the champion of that health. Accountant will not come and do it. Internal control will not come and do it. You are the one that will do it. You are the one that will ensure that the health of our organization is healthy through culture, through training, through the right performance metrics. The last one, manage change effectively as organization transition towards sustainable practices. So one thing I know is that after this seminar now or training, by the time you are going back to your organization, I know that in fact, some of you starting from now, tomorrow, in the next 3 days, you would have started coming up with a lot of ideas that will begin to change the organization for good. That is the essence of this class today. And I want you to be very happy going back and started taking action. Is that okay? I'm rounding up, so just be patient with me. So what is the way forward? What is the way forward? If I knew, I wouldn't have brought this thing up. I would have asked you to start to write, to use like 1 minute to write something down, what you can begin to do starting from now. Number one, there's anything you need to do starting from now is that be involved in SDG. Okay? So let me ask you, as a person, which area do you want to get yourself involved? Like me now, I am involved in SDG 1, SDG 4, and SDG 8. These are the area I've been practicing all my life. And I'm also thinking of improving it because I want to go into something that has to be conflict. I'm doing a course, some kind of conflict resolutions. And if I finish those courses, I want to go into peace and prosperity. Okay, so that I can become a conflict resolutor. What do they call them now? You know, I can become a subject matter in that area. Number two, develop and implement green initiatives. As you are leaving this place, write it down. Which area of the green initiatives can I focus on now? Which one can I get my management to focus on? Which one are we correctly doing? Which area can we improve? Go and do that. Okay, I've told you so many things you can do. I have tied it to training. I have tied it to performance. And under performance, I said the next time you want to reward anybody, don't just go and buy rice and beans. Don't buy butter and cake. Buy something solar product. You can buy anything that has to do with green initiatives, anything that come up from there. Go and buy it. Okay? And you know, probably your organization don't have a staff boss, you can lead it and tell them if they have the money anyway, they can buy one. It will save a lot, it will save the community. Then another one is that develop and implement sustainable HR practices. You know, you can say, okay, let's go and do our employee health very well. Let's go and work on the work-life balance. I'm going to be a champion. I'm going to work with some kind of top management and ensure that we are doing this thing well. And you know, then develop a business sustainability case. Yeah, proposal. I will never go and meet anybody say this is my idea. I will always develop a proposal. Anything I'm doing, if I for me to get a buy-in, I will I will I will develop it will be very I will send it to you. So it's very easier for you to make a decision. So by the time we are talking, we are speaking the same language. 1, 2, 3. Number 5, get leaders involved and advocate for change. So you can't do it alone. You have to get people involved. And I love what some organizations are doing. They know that they can't do it alone and they are getting government involved. They are getting international, there are some international organizations that give grants. They get, in fact, you can be the reason why you will attract grants to your organization. Report all those SDG, report all those green initiatives, report all those sustainability initiatives, come up with a strong business case or a proposal, a grant proposal, and before you know it's happening, it's coming into your organization and you'll be respected. Think of employee well-being initiatives, come up with learning and development initiatives that focus on green and sustainability, get involved in culture initiatives. How do you do that? Look at your values. and align with SDG. Any area that the value of the organization or the purpose of the organization or the mission of the organization align with, just pick them. Is it SDG 1, 2, and 3? As I'm talking right now, some organizations don't have that issue because they have already adopted any of those SDGs. They don't have issues. I know FCMB have adopted. I know that, I'm very comfortable in the banking industry. Then I'm seeing what MTN is doing. I'm seeing what Dangote is doing. I'm seeing what Otedola and Co, Glow, all those people are doing. So you too, no matter how small your organization is, try to tie it up. It's so lovely. Try it. Just try something. I know your MD will not reject it, and I know your CEO will not reject it. Try something. Let it get to the board. Because do you know why? When you are talking about corporate governance, these are the things they do. Beyond the reputations, beyond the decision making, beyond the strategy, they are into CSR. And in Nigeria, every organization must report it as part of the annual report. So let's look at your annual report. How much of the SDG is there? So you can be the change agent that will ensure that they are reporting more. Do you know you will not be able to get some investors into your business until you have produced your sustainability report or your green report? It's very difficult for you. And finally, capture values and report impact. Some of us, we do now. I just ask you now, how many of us is reporting staff boss as part of the green initiatives? If you're not doing it, you're wasting that arena. It's part of it. Probably you get a solar energy or a solar anything in the organization, report it, document it, showcase it. Okay? Probably by the time you want to reward some staff, probably you purchase some kind of solar energy or anything, put it on Facebook. Because of the green something something, in order for us to achieve one of the SDG of we have purchased this thing, we are a champion in something, something, something. Put it there. Let them find a way to the internet. So I love it when people capture value, they maximize it, and they report it. It is very, very important. Like I told you, I'm rounding up. Note, please pay attention to this note. Do you know that integrating HRM best practices to SDG are cost effective? Very, very cost effective. As a matter of fact, you can attract funding to your organization. I have one organization I'm very close to the CEO anyway. That woman has attracted close to like 40,000 pounds to our organization. They focus on waste management. Some they focus on building solar for small SME or coming up with and solar energy. Some focus on so many things. Just report. It's find a way to report it, and you will attract funding. So here is the something I need to ask you now. What action can you take today? I've said so many things, and I need you to go and take action. And I want to say thank you for listening to me. And this is how far I can go today. Okay. I hope I did not bore you. And I know that it's worth your time, right? Did you learn anything? So let me see in the comment section. And the whole I think we are hoping for question and answer now. Thank you so much, everyone. Let me start sharing.
Thank you so much for that excellent, highly insightful, informative session. Fola Vincent, you always deliver. Thank you so much. It was
You're welcome.
many aha moments for me, many learnings
Wow,
and
wow,
people
great.
for me
I really
too as a
appreciate that.
person. Ladies and gentlemen, as we normally do you have questions? Do you have comments, contributions? You want to share one or two examples quickly? We're open to take a few comments or questions or clarifications so that we can call it a wrap. I can see in the comment section people expressing their appreciation for the profound knowledge you have shared. I'm checking also if anybody is dropping any question or any insights in the group. Thank you so much. I can see Mary says that's a beautiful session. Thank you. Deborah says correct. Okay, Mary, thank you. Thank you, Titi, Lokwe, Kolade, Shola. Thank you, Alabi. Thank you. Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you. Deborah Oji says, wow, this is an eye-opening training. Excellent. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Inform Bernard. Thank you so much. All right. I think, okay, let me read this. Patrick Chuku says, thanks for the presentation site was indeed impactful and highly informative. All right, so I'll just enable everybody to unmute and maybe say something, thank you, in voice. Hopefully we won't disturb the environment. So you can unmute if you want to say something. Anyone? Okay, Alabi says she has a question.
Thank
So
you.
Alabi, just go ahead with your question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Esther Alabi. I really enjoyed the training. My question goes to what the person that give the presentation talked about he talked about work-life balance or work-life fit. So my question is that if you are working with an organization that they don't value work-life balance, like maybe to get your leave, you have to negotiate with them. So my question is that if maybe you're an HR person, how can you correct that? And if the management, they are so rigid that maybe they don't listen to what HR have to say, or maybe this what the management have in mind supersede what HR department or HR manager is trying to present to them. So that's one. Another question I have is that it's talk about aligning your company's value. So if, let's say, for instance, one of the value in one of the core value of your organization is integrity. And let me cite a scenario. If, let's say, for instance, the management look at it, okay, we want to do a salary increment. And what they're looking at is like, let's say, for instance, 10%. And at the end of the day, when the implementation was made, they didn't follow that 10%. Some person, they give them 30%, some person 50%, some person 100%, some persons 10%. So as an HR person, how can we try to tell the management implication of what they are doing? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We speak regarding this, and I know that we have some HR leaders in the house that we also contribute to it. The truth of the matter is that, one of the things we focus on today has to do with best practices. Okay. And we also realize that some CEO and MD, for obvious reasons, they do not see things the way human resource professionals see things. And that was the way I told you about different stages in the year of how human resource were, gaining recognitions and become a strategic partner of the organization. I know that you are not talking about your organization, you are just speaking generally. But the truth of the matter is that that's what happens in most organizations, especially in Nigeria. Okay. Now, let's begin with, I will be very careful so that I don't throw too much of stones. I'll be very careful. I know we all know the answers, but I will just say this. Number one, organizations that focus on profit, okay? They will not see work-life balance as anything. They will throw it away because they will focus on productivity and they will focus on profit. That is what it is for them. And for somebody like me, for most staff, at a time, they begin to lose their staff and it shows in their retentions. And most times there is nothing HR can do about it. And most time when people ask that question, this is what I tell them. Number one, begin with where you have influence in that organizations. Which area do you have influence? Okay, on your team lead, on your head, or probably you are the head. There must be some people that you have influence on. So as an head of HR, what level of influence do you have? And that is one thing you can start developing. Okay, the truth of the matter is that most HR don't have that kind of influence. Then the second one is that I don't want to go this route, but I still have to go. Somebody like me, if I am heading an HR department and something like that is happening, I will go and write a business case, a proposal, drop it with my MD, and if they are not implementing, somebody like me, I'm sorry, I'm just saying it generally, I will plan my exit. I'm sorry, I'm going to leave. Okay, so this is the point I'm making. There are some things within among management you have control over. There are some things you don't have control over. All you need to do, if you still want to stay in that organization, keep building influence. And these are the reason we are having this kind of training. Probably you are not running out initiatives, you are not impacting the organization in any way. They don't see value beyond the administrative task that you are doing. They don't see any more value. Recently, I did something in the place I'm working, and I carved out some money for an initiative we want to roll out. They're supposed to tell me that no money, nothing, but at least we carved out something. And what did I do? I developed that proposal and I just sent it and I follow up. It took 1 month, second month, third month, fourth month. Then suddenly we got a feedback, and I really want to appreciate the person I report to. Always supportive, and we're able to get something around it. So for you, if either you or any other person, very simple, build your influence. Start with what you can control. Then if you still want to stay in that organization, keep building influence until you can start controlling what it appears you can't control. Or you can plan your exit. I will say, because me, I don't like toxic environment and I don't want you to stay there. Organization are plenty. I know we need the money, and I know that you don't want to lose your job. Yes, but God will help us. I know that Adeoshun is there. Other people are here. They will use their wisdoms to also talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just one thing I would just like to add is that sometimes we also need to be sure we got the communication clearly from the management. Did they say a flat 10% or a minimum 10%? Okay, so that we just don't assume that the average is 10%, and that means everybody must get 10%. Because,
Yeah,
for
you have to
example,
consider
in
the health of the
instances where,
business too.
yes, there may also be some historical factors. Maybe some people who are already being underpaid, or they've been made certain promises or assurances that during the next salary review will regularize or will, do something about your underpayment. So please, you may need to also confirm that it may not be a flat 10% for everybody. Maybe on the general note is 10%, and then some people will get a lot more, some may even get slightly less, so that there's clarity with respect to the instruction. I see someone here says,
And sorry, Adios,
yeah, go on.
Let me add this to it. Because most time we think it's the organization, it may not really be the organization. It might be that the HR is not proactive. For example, now, let me ask you this question now. Do you have a there's what we call the workforce planning? Do you have a succession planning? Do you have all those things? So, for example, now, if you don't have a succession plan for somebody to go on leave, they won't allow the person to go if it's going to affect the business negatively. So what do you do at the beginning of the year? Create a leave plan. Okay, get everybody. Oh yeah, submit when you want to go on leave. Plan it very well. Submit to the management or submit to the team leads or the managers or the heads, so that everybody will understand. Oh, this person can go on leave or the person cannot go on leave. Like where I work, you will know. Okay, my leave was due in this May. I told them I'm not going. Why am I? It's not that they stop me not to go. I say I'm not going because we still have some kind of deliverables that I know that my impact is very important. Probably next month or per month I will go. But they didn't stop me. But I told myself I'm not going because I know the work we need to do. So we have to ensure all those are very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that add-on. Thank you. You just preempted me. So I think one more person has a question here. Nwali Francis, and that will be the final question for tonight. Nwali, you can please, if you are still with us, unmute and go ahead with your question.
All right. Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Loud and clear, please.
Good. Firstly, I want to appreciate the trainer for a wonderful insight today. So, I get to understand many things about HR practices relating to sustainability. Now, on the course of training, you mentioned some things. You said talked about SDG1, SDG2. So, I want to know where can someone get such information written like that, or where I can read more about the SDG 1 and 2, and if there's other category. Then that is one. Then two is recently we can understand or see how fast sustainability is growing, especially in the FMCG. And sustainability has become something that people are ordering every day. So recently, in my workplace, we though we are doing some kind of sustainability related things in some of our subsidiaries, especially in one of our plantations. So we'll be taking out about the community and also the environment as well, where they are doing carrying out the plantation. So now the question, the issue now is recently want to bring in someone that will be responsible for all the sustainability related issues again. And someone that have been handling it have not been that kind of equipped, though a person is good and it's good to his own to our own level. Again. Now the issue is there's been a difficulty of the person to get some certain information from some of the stakeholders that have been into the system for long. So the person is finding it difficult to get this information. So I want to know where can HR help us? Where can some HR help us to enable the person to get this information? How can HR push? Apart from the HR best practices that have been mentioned here in this training. So I want to know how can HR help this person to get this information, because this person is also recovering some different parts of the state and different part of the country. So I want to know how impactful HR can also help us in this place. Thank you.
Although I was struggling getting what you have to say, but at the time I summarized what you really want to ask. Probably is just join an organization, and you don't have access to some information that can help you to work, or beyond that, like you just mentioned now about SDG, probably you are just hearing now, or so it does boil down to getting information. Yeah, it's a very wonderful thing. I will use myself as an example. If I get into any organization, depending on my role, the first thing I do is to request for some document, or I go to the SharePoint or share folder or the drive of the organization. Anyone they give me access to that has to do with my role. I read what have been done. So you can go and read minutes of meetings, you can go and read reports, you can read as many as possible. And that is why HR, you are a reader. You continue to be a reader until Jesus comes. Let me put it that way. So that's number one. So you have to be proactive in learning by yourself based on what have been done. Then the second one is that look at your colleagues that you meet. Okay, don't bulldoze them. Humble yourself. Despite the fact that you are knowledgeable, you are powerful, no matter how many you are, some of these people are ahead of you in the organization. So you can officially ask, please, can I meet you so time? When's your best time for us to talk about this or about that? Me, I do it. So you can do the same. Talk to people that are ahead of you in that department. Ask them questions. There's nothing wrong with it. It makes your job easier. Then beyond that, you can leverage on this network. And by the grace of God, there's no question asked in the group that we don't answer to. I've never seen anyone that don't get answers. And I also observe that there is no one that request for anything they want to make use of that don't get it. Okay, except if it is confidential and they don't want to release it. But so you can leverage on your network, and you can be in this network. And another thing is that ensure that you are in a professional, like for example, somebody like me now, and majority of us in this place, someone in CIPM, they get information from CIPM, someone in HRCI, someone is in SHRM. And once you join all this community, they integrate you into the community, and you begin to have access to informations, begin to have access to all of it. Now, above all, Google is your, after God is Google. There is no information you can get from Google. Just type it. And thank God for artificial intelligence today. If you are not lazy with your finger, and you are not lazy with thinking and communicating in a professional way with artificial intelligence, you can always get some fact that you need. And finally, because I've seen people strongly, and probably Mr. Adeosu will still have to do something like that. Some people, before you assume a particular role, the person is no longer there. Probably you are the only HR there. You didn't meet any HR, and you need to start. I think Mr. Adeosu has an answer for you regarding that. What you need to do in the first 90 days. There's a video like that. It can reshare for all of us, and there is nothing wrong. We are always here to support. Let me stop there because of time. Please, Mr. Adeosu, over to you.
Thank you so much for your responses, and thank you so much for the session in general. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank everyone who joined this call and stayed through, which is almost like 95% of the participants we have tonight. This will be uploaded tonight or latest first thing tomorrow morning, in case you want to watch again or share with other people. Thankfully, this Saturday, we are also going to be looking at a topic that is an extension of tonight's conversation. Saturday, we'll be focusing strictly on green human resource management. If you can create time, 7 p.m., join us. Or at your convenience, you catch up on the YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to say thank you. Express our profound gratitude to Fola Vincent for doing a yeoman's job yet again. Please,
thank you so
let's
much.
enjoy the rest of our evening.
Thank you so
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.